Oh no, what this time? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the Outlander again. Yep. The better half's Outlander decided to just stop working one day. Went and got gas, and she couldn't get it to start again. We've been having some issues before. When we boosted it, it seemed to work. But this time, a boost didn't help. So we're trying to figure out what we're doing, what's wrong with it. Research seems to be the starter. On the 2020 Outlander, the starter is hard to find. So we're going to show you where it is and a couple of shortcuts I think I found to be able to get it out without having to take your whole motor compartment apart. Okay, so in this model, this one is the 2.4 liter, and if you look down there, you'll see the little filter, oil filter, which is actually not too bad for being able to do the oil change. And beside it here, but underneath all of this, is where the starter is hiding. So there are two bolts to undo it. One you can almost reach here. The other one you can get at from underneath, I believe. So we're going to see if we can do it that way. The only other, I've moved this so I can get some more access, a little more arm room. We're going to take it off, and we're going to unhook the negative off the battery so we don't get any sparks. But I really don't want to have to take this whole system apart to get at it. Like that to me just seems crazy. And the one video I had, they literally undid all of this. And personally, I think that's a lot to deal with and take chances with if we don't have to. So it's underneath here. You can see it from underneath. I will show you later. When you're looking up, you can see the starter. Once you know where to look for it, you can see it. So it's in the front of the motor, down underneath the intake, and it's right there. Now, some things say that they're in behind underneath your exhaust. This one, it's not that way. This one, it is here. I have found it. I have located it. So we're going to reach in down just between here and just under. There's a bolt. You can feel it. So that's one of the nuts to keep it on, or bolts actually. And then on the other side, I can come in from below and get it. I'll show you what it looks like when we start going for that one. So there's the filter, and then if you go further up in the hole, right there, that's the starter right there. So easy to view, and the one screw I get at easily. The other one seems to be, yeah, it is kind of hidden, so we're going to see if we can't get at that other bolt without having to take out all this stuff. But the one, you can see the back of it here. There we go. It is accessible from this side, but the other one I'm not sure of yet. Now, this has extra shrouds down here, and this one here does come off. So I'm thinking of taking this out of my way so that I've got a little bit more elbow room. Well, to take this pan off, there is two clips, this stuff, and then there are two bolts. So I've got to go get a wrench for those, and then this should come out for me, and we'll have a little more arm room, see what I can find. Alright, so I moved this pan out of my way. These are 10 mils for here, and then we get up to that nut right there. That is our first starter nut, and that one is a 14 millimeter. I was just noticing this thing's got threaded mounts here where it could have I guess another mounting system for it to go to the rad, but this one doesn't have it. Anyway, All right, there's our starter. You can see him. Looks like he's had better days. So we're going to try to get him out. But that's the one bolt. The other one is on the other side of all this mess. So it looks like I may have to take all that out if I can't get my hand down the other side. So let's go top side and see what we can find out. All right, so on top of here is this little box here. It does have a plastic piece that snaps into here. Pull violently. It does not come out easy. Next, you undo the clamp here, and there's one at the bottom here. This one was a bit of a bugger to get at the screw because it was sitting right here. That's your carburetor right there. So, I guess your carburetor. Anyway, so it was sitting right here. Okay, you undo it, you got to twist it, it finally pops off of here. Now, as I say, the video I was watching, the guy took this off. I'm not going to mess with that. But in doing this, now you can see right down there, straight down, I'll put a little arrow, is the nut you need. Only thing is, chances of fitting a ratchet in there are probably somewhere between slim and not possible. So I'm going to have to find a 14 mil box end and see if I can't get it out with that. Which means it's going to take a while because you're going to get like 1/8 of a turn per crank. But anyways, any turn is better than none. Then we'll drop it out, undo the wires because they should follow. I believe that's what's in this conduit here. I'm pretty sure that's probably what's in that one because it's headed that direction. So should release that and that'll drop down with it so we can get them undone from underneath the car. So like I say, this isn't the way it's suggested, but this is the way I'm finding to do it. Hopefully it helps somebody. All right, so what I found out for you is that little guy down there is a 14 mil. The only problem is I don't have a long 14 mil box end or a ratcheting 14 mil that I can get in there. So in my case, I've got to use a socket. Only problem is the socket doesn't fit in there because there's this little extra pipe here, way down in there, that is hooked onto a mount. There's a little tiny bracket down there. And that bracket goes to, let's see, hopefully I can get a picture of this for you. Way down underneath all these tubes, there is a bracket. There we go. You can just see the threaded hole there now in the bracket. So I will put a little arrow again for you. And there is a 12 mil bolt that sits in there. This little guy right here. You take him out and then this bracket can move. Now with that bracket being able to move, it's hard to even get your hands in here. That bracket's able to move, so I can lift that and I can get a socket in there now. So I can get enough play on that wire that I can finally get my socket to go in there. So if I separate these two guys, you can see a corrugated one underneath there. Hopefully. This way down and there we go. So there's a corrugated one down in there. There you go. That one goes to the mount to a bracket. Not that bracket that you see there, but one further up. And I had to undo the 12. So it's basically right straight down under all these hoses. You got to bend them out of the way. You go straight down, and it's a threaded hole way down in there. Trying to get this so you guys can see it. There we go. That's the bracket there. It's moved now because I've pushed it around, but it's a threaded hole underneath it. So that's what's there. And yeah, fun. As I say, I just don't want to take this out. This might have been easier, But these bolts have not been moved in since 2020. It is 2024. They are not wanting to come out. They are not agreeing with me. Moving one bracket, to me, seemed the lesser of two evils. So you go down straight through. I used this long extension, went down through, popped it undone. I retrieved the bolt with a magnet, an extendable magnet, lifted it out, and now I can move that so I can get this ratchet down with the 14 mil and get that undone. Well, got the new starter. Got it from my friends Just Brakes on Millvan Road in Toronto. You guys are ever looking for parts, they're an awesome place to get them. Not paid promotion, they're really solid guys, so I like putting a shout out for them. Anyways, so we got the starter. Gonna do the oil change while we get this thing up on this. It's another sunny day, so I threw up a little bit of protection here to keep myself from getting too burnt. So I undid those screws. They're now to the point that I can, or bolts, I can undo them with my fingers. I haven't unhooked the power yet. I got this cable here unconnected. This is the one that goes to the starter, so now I can move that around. I believe it's the one that goes to the starter. You need to at least undo your ground wire so you don't get any sparks. That is a 10 mil. So, just so you know, I threw 10 mil on there, no issue, but no problem. So, it looks smaller, but 10 mil worked on it. Anyway, so I will be unhooking that shortly. The reason I haven't unhooked it too early is because I don't want to have to mess around with resetting the stereo and everything. So if it's not off for too long, usually the stereos remember things. But if you like, if I had have undone it, I'm on day 2 getting at this because I had to head off to work. So had I undone it yesterday and not gotten back to it until this time, it would have had almost 24 hours unhooked, and the radio would have probably reset itself. Maybe not, but I didn't want to take the chance. If anybody else out there knows for sure if it would have blanked out the radio or not, by all means, throw it in the comments so other people can find out. I do appreciate any input. In my case, I have had it, and aftermarket stereos, after a certain period of time, boom, they don't remember anything anymore. You have to set everything back up. That said, I had one aftermarket one that was unhooked for 5 years. I plugged it back in, it recognized my phone right away. So you never know. Anyways, if you do know, please throw it in the comments. Much appreciated. Because the cable's behind here and something else, I don't know what's bumping it to it. It's not wanting to come out because there's stuff stopping it from being able to turn enough. So let's see. I don't think it's the wires at the top that are stopping it. I think it's something to do down here more. This cable's got to push back. And then it just stops on me. That cable moves enough. The other cable's out of the way. Maybe it is my cable stopping it. the wire was keeping me up. There's an extra clip up there. And there's the wires I got to undo right in there. I'll get some more light in there for a minute for you. So, I mean, the starter doesn't look in bad shape. We're hoping that's what's wrong with this. Here's the new starter. So this is the easiest way to find out what you got to play with. You got one nut for your power and one nut for your switch, or one clip for your switch. So that's pretty easy. Pull that one off, and we just got to undo this one. So, and FYI, this little guy is a 13 mil. Alright, it's now in there, and yes, that's a try to wiggle it up in there. But when you get your angles right, it does slip in. Then you go up and pull your electrical cable up into the hook. It'll drop in a lot easier for you. If you're just struggling from down here, it's a bit hard. But as I say, if you get it set up a bit, then go up and move your cable, then it just drops in a lot easier. We got this bolt here. Get it tightened up, and then reach my hand way down in over that other one over there. And we'll get that done. Alright. Don't forget your little bolt that's hiding way down in there, holding the one bracket. Remember to put that guy back on. Reclamp your wires in here. Just get everything bent back in the right place. Get that clamped back on. And then remember to do up your ground as well. So, we got that starter back in. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's working yet, because that actually wasn't the problem after all that. Tried to start the car, still didn't start, didn't want to work. We found out that beside the key there's a ring. Basically lights up for your keys. Just a little while ago, my wife's knee had come up into the dash when she had to slam on the brakes, and it had hit that. Not to our knowledge at first, but later we noticed that it had broken that little ring. Inside that ring is a bunch of little wires. They actually belong to the key immobilizer. So, in our case, one of those wires is now broken. They were fine, but because they're loose, one broke. And now the car's not starting. So we now believe that that is what the problem is. But y'all managed to get a video on where the starter is and how to put it in. So, hey, it's content. Anyways, I will be back with what happens with the immobilizer. I'll do a short video on that and show you guys what we had to do for that. Whether we do it or I have to take it to a shop, I'm not sure yet. It might be beyond my league of wanting to play with. We'll see. If it's just something that plugs in and you just have to snap one off and the other one on, by all means I'll do it. And I'll show you guys what the process was. But I'll get back to you with that and let you guys know what happens with that. But for now, that's it. Starter is in. As far as we know, there's not going to be any problem. This is going to work and start up. Sucks that we replaced it if we didn't have to, but the old one was getting rusty on the outside. It did have some wear to it. Now there's a nice new one in it. You won't have any problems for years to come. So, you know, not perfect, but we'll make the best of it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Please hit that like, hit that share, subscribe if you haven't. We much appreciate it. It's helping building. We're getting there, and I will see you next video.